Good evening, everyone. My name is Justin Alexander, the High School Principal at ISB, and I'm very proud to be here tonight at the commencement ceremony for the class of 2021. Ideally, we'd be all together in the Rajendra, preparing for the commencement ceremony with 500 to 600 people to say congratulations to our 132 graduates in person. Unfortunately, we are once again in a situation where the pandemic is affecting our seniors and the conclusion of their high school career, and a normal graduation cannot take place. Our seniors have proved to be resilient and positive, despite the challenges and uncertainties surrounding their studies, exams, and just living through a pandemic here in Thailand. Thanks to the continual support from parents and the great commitment from their teachers, the class of 2021 will indeed come together, albeit virtually, to graduate today. Today's ceremony is the bringing together of individual graduation moments from the past few weeks into one combined celebration for the class of 2021. The ceremony will officially begin in just a few minutes, but as we wait for everyone to join this live stream event on YouTube or Facebook, please take a moment to enjoy a brief slideshow of our seniors. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the class of 2021. please rise for the King's Anthem. Please welcome our Head of School, Dr. Andy Davis, to the podium for his welcoming address.
Good evening, and a very warm welcome to this virtual graduation ceremony for the class of 2021. We know it's not what we'd hoped would happen, particularly after a great start to the year, but the high school, with great parent support, has worked really hard to make the best of a tough situation. We really hope our ISB families will enjoy this creative solution and celebrate our seniors in different but more intimate settings. Today we celebrate the accomplishments of our graduates, recognize the love and guidance their parents have given them for some 18 years, and rightly acknowledge the dedication, care, and great expertise of our wonderful teachers from pre-K to high school who've worked so devotedly throughout the school careers of our seniors. Behind the scenes here at school, you've also been supported by the best classified staff in the world to ensure that your education runs smoothly and in the best possible environment. Graduates, from wherever you are, please loudly show your immense appreciation to your parents, your teachers, and our wonderful ISB support staff. Now, despite the importance of this special day, I know that the pandemic remains very much on our minds. Our world has witnessed a collective tragedy with over 3 million fatalities and over 160 million known cases. Economies, careers, livelihoods, and health have been adversely affected, and our ability to see loved ones has been significantly compromised. As we look at history, however, good things have often been learned from adversity, and important learnings often followed tragedy. To give but two examples, the United Nations was established in 1945 after World War II to ensure another global conflict would never again take place. We also saw nations recently that experienced SARS were much better prepared for the pandemic than other countries. As we look at our experiences over the past year and a bit, we too have developed and grown. We've become more adaptable. We've become more resilient. We've learned to value the simple things in life, like being in a classroom, chatting with friends, going to a restaurant, taking a flight. We've become better at self-management. We've become more creative in multiple ways. And of course, our technological skills have improved, and we've even figured out how to multitask on Zoom. The class of 2021 has had it tough, no doubt about it. You've lost about 7 months of classes with your friends, as well as some of the extracurriculars that you enjoy so much. Rites of passage, such as graduation ceremonies and proms, have been taken away. You've lost the chance to test yourselves in IB exams. You have not been able to travel on school trips, and perhaps most importantly, your freedom to interact in person with others has been curtailed. Yet look at what you've learned and how you've developed. Whatever life throws at you in the future, you will be much more resilient, much better prepared. We can actually learn much more from adversity than we can when times are good. I will end by congratulating you once again on the significant accomplishment of graduating from high school and coping so well, which is what is probably the challenge of a lifetime. You will go into the world as a graduate of, in my unbiased opinion, the best school in the world. You go with the ability to make friends from any culture, with the academic background to help you excel at college, with experience already of helping those in need, and most importantly, with the values and attributes that make a good person and will guide you in the future. Thank you very much, and here's to our amazing class of 2021. Please now welcome Orisa Tanajaro, President of the class of 2021.
Fellow seniors, please stand. Good afternoon, parents, teachers, administrators, friends, and fellow graduates. I'm Orisa Tanajaro, and as class president, it is my honor and duty to lead the seniors in the traditional Thai Y. The Y is a sign of our deepest gratitude and respect for our parents and teachers who have dedicated their time, love, and effort to helping us reach this important point and milestone in our lives.
Dear Class of 2021, my name is Amani Kaya, Student Council Vice President and Class Speaker, and I have the honor of introducing the special guests at our virtual graduation this evening. Head of School, Dr. Andrew Davies. Deputy Head of School, Ms. Debbie Caskey. Headmistress, Ms. Ajan Usa. High School Principal, Mr. Justin Alexander. High School Dean of Students, Mr. Andy Vaughn. High School Dean of Academics, Ms. Justina McMillan. Chair of the Board of Trustees, Mr. Jack Kraprayun. Valedictorian, Natalie Ju. Joint Salutatorians, Justin Browers and Jingmin Wang. Faculty Speaker, Mr. Connor Duffy. Senior Council Class President, Orisa Tanajaro. Senior Class Representative, Todd Amatayakul. Senior Class Representative, Earth Makamakul. Senior Class Representative, Jingmin Wang. Prior to the first speaker today, we're able to enjoy ISB's very own string sextet perform Count on Me by Bruno Mars. The string sextet is Vasin Shnatepaporn, Rachel Hyun, Front Wangnota Witaya, Poon Kanchananat, Nina Jitutrong, and Tata Pinpak Kornkul. Please enjoy.
Thank you to the String Sextet for their wonderful performance conducted by Miss Andriana Gricius. And now we're moving on to the class speaker. Every single year, the senior class selects a class speaker to represent them at graduation. And this year's selection is a great friend of mine and a great friend for many of us. In addition to his many accomplishments, such as being a varsity athlete, being an IASIS dancer, and being an excellent IB student, he's also a kind person, enthusiastic, and an all-around relaxing presence to be around. And so please join me in welcoming this year's class speaker, Amani Kaya, to the podium.
The wheels on the bus go round and round. June 8th, 1977. It was a beautiful afternoon in Atlanta, Georgia. A period in time in which our parents were still considered young and TVs still had this big box behind them. But it was also the day in which a child was born. Now, this wasn't just any child. No, this was a human child that dared to dream. And I'm not talking about the dreams we get in advisory. No, I'm talking about the dreams that make others dream bigger. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, regular guests, and of course, the class of 2021. My name is Amani Kaya, and it is my honor and pleasure to speak here in front of you all virtually at this graduation. To continue with the story, this child, who was born in Atlanta but raised by a single mother in Chicago's South Side, lived a different life but shared similarities to the one a lot of us are familiar with. Came from a loving home, lived abroad for some time, went to school, had his first crush, had his second crush, had his third crush, but before his fourth, realized that maybe he should invest his time elsewhere. Music was that elsewhere. That art form allowed the boy to find hope in the saddest of times, joy in the darkest of places, and peace in the most chaotic of circumstances. But just like most of our lives, it wasn't all sunshines and rainbows, wasn't all marshmallows and lollipops, or chocolates and flowers. No, things got tough, and they got real tough. The toughest day for the boy being when he came home to a phone call and learned that the person he loved most had become a memory he couldn't forget, but longed to touch, feel, and embrace again. It was his mother. He felt like his life became worthless. Everything he worked for, pointless. He reached a point in his life when he started to question the purpose of his existence, looked at the man in the mirror, and felt ashamed to wear his skin. Some of us, unfortunately, might relate to him. There's a happy ending to this story, I think. But through his adversities, being told he's crazy, stupid, self-absorbed, incompetent, he started to fall fast and hard. But through the grace of God, he found the rope to his mountain and found comfort in his discomfort. Wow, that was cliche. This boy grew up to be none other than the street philosopher, inspirational musician, designer, and presidential candidate named Kanye West, who taught others, like myself, to dream big, but think bigger, to not be a different animal and the same beast. I don't know what it means, but he said that one time. In the microcosm of high school, we sometimes tend to value material, other intrinsic factors more than internal elements. We bestow power and allow the assessment of someone else to determine the manner in which we view ourselves, which can be good, but can also be detrimental. In the life we live, in the broadest sense, we live to learn, we live to serve, and we live to love. At least that's how I've come to understand it. It's a broad life. However, we often create narrow descriptions and pathways of a successful person, student, son, or daughter. And what I've found is that for those who struggle to fit that mold or description, whether it's because the way they think or act is different from what is desired or expected, they, like Kanye, are the ones that may be looked down upon by others. Others who may present an accomplished exterior but lack a competent interior. Most of us, if not now, previously, may have been victims of a reduced sense of self-worth due to maybe external expectations. And it can be tough, feeling as though everyone or everything else is progressing except for you. Sometimes other people's expectations of ourselves consume us. However, and in the perceptive words of a 7-Eleven cashier, the one that consumes you most isn't failing the expectations made by others for you, but failing the expectations set by yourself for yourself. I remember when he told me that, I looked at the man and I said, "You can keep the change." He looked back at me and he said, "You're 20 baht short, sir. There's no change to keep." And on that day, there may not have been any change, but what you have is time to change. One day you may wake up from your bed, look around you and realize that everyone likes you except you. And that may be the toughest feeling to overcome. But as we can learn through Kanye's contentious and self-seeking experience, developing trust in yourself and becoming comfortable in your own skin may be the cure to feelings of low spirit. But how do we fully achieve that? I don't know. So if you do know, let me know. I operate on Tumblr and Postmail. But what I have come to find out is that it's more of a journey than it is a destination. A challenging and personal journey through an unknown pathway that in the end will hopefully allow us to become something like a Nokia brick, indestructible and antiquated, unfazed but still timeless. For those of you right now who may feel as though you're not at the point of your lives or the point in your journey that you hoped you'd be by the time this day came around, it gets better. The wheels on the bus go round and round. Let me show you a video that will hopefully remind you of the beautiful days you've had and the ones that are yet to come.
Oh, I knew life would be alright. Who could've known Oh, you can tell me it gets better, 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 better. This is more than life. This is paradise.
What a good big sister.
Oh, and they telling me, they say it gets better, better, better. This is more than life. This is paradise.
In our lives, we have a good habit of setting goals and objectives for the future with a clear plan that we work tirelessly to fulfill. And sometimes things go accordingly, but other times, and for some of us, most times, they don't. And it is in those moments that we tend to learn a lot. Some things I've learned is that A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And that even in the most trying times, as seen in Kanye's life story, in the moments we feel like we have nothing left to offer, we often do. And it can start with a dream, and it can end with one coming true. The world could use more dreamers, but what the world really needs is more ranch on pizza. Bold and creamy ranch on a hot slice of pizza. Oh yeah, for all of you who are gonna try this at home, you're welcome in advance. I told you it gets better. To the class of 2021, today marks our last day as high schoolers, but tomorrow, in a very real sense, our life begins. No more niches of parents posting you on Facebook. No more Mr. Vaughn giving you fashion advice in the hallways. No more asking the office ladies for excuse tardies. But what there will be more of is more unforgettable stories and experiences to build off of the ones you've made these past 4 years. And as this chapter of our life ends, we still have the rest of the book we author from called Life, to complete. A book based on personal choices and experiences. Because in the end, to quote Jeff Bezos, we are our choices. Build yourself a story, not to impress anyone, but to be appreciated by yourself when you're old and wise and you're reminding kids about how wonderful the good old days used to be. And those are the days we're living in right now, and we'll never come back to them. So breathe it in. So graduates, although your journey in life will not always follow the path you intended for it, the wheels on the bus will continue to go round and round, and you have two choices really: to ride it or give up on your destination, which over the course of time may change as you grow. Because maybe the real test of life isn't avoiding the wrong or scary choices, but having the courage or willingness to overcome them. Someone write that down. And to wrap it up with my final Kanye West adaptation, class of 2021. Everybody wanted to know what we would do if we had to take the IB exams to graduate. I guess we'll never know. Graduates, go and grow. Write yourself a story. Good luck, and make it count. And to the school and people I've been surrounded with these past 11 years, it's been one of the greatest pleasures of my young life. Thank you. Kabun Gab.
Thank you, Imani, for that powerful speech, which I'm sure has challenged many of our perspectives and will help our graduates dare to dream to a new destination. I would now like to introduce our vocal nonette, Raphael Barote, Ria Gandhi, Momoko Kuramochi, Max Mewison, Earth Mokamakul, Patra Fasuk, Leah Scranton, Sasha Boertheim, Isaac Workman, who will be performing Padayon by Ili Matthew Magnano at today's graduation.
Thank you to the vocal nonette conducted by Ms. Lindsay Fusen for that beautiful performance today of Padayon. I would like to now recognize a few of the strongest academic performers in our senior class, our salutatorians and valedictorian. The honor of valedictorian is awarded to the student with the highest cumulative GPA during their junior and senior years at ISB. The salutatorian is awarded to the student with the second highest cumulative GPA during that same period. This year, we have 2 salutatorians with identical GPAs. Please join me in congratulating Jesslyn Browers and Jingmin Wang as the salutatorians of the class of 2021. According to her teachers, this year's valedictorian, Natalie Zhu, is an impressive student, musician, and all-around person. Natalie impresses those around her with her ability to synthesize complex ideas and think deeply about content and concepts explored in class. Her curiosity and interest in the world make her pretty unique. Natalie knows where she struggles, and she has the passion and the maturity needed to work through those struggles where many students would give up. It's not often that a student like Natalie comes along. She is rare in the sense that she is grounded, curious, passionate, and a great student to have in class, both from a teacher and a student perspective. She is liked and respected by her peers. Natalie is described by one of her teachers as a duck on a lake. A duck looks like they're calmly drifting on the water, when in fact, underneath the surface, it is paddling with great force to keep moving. Natalie makes her achievements seem effortless. She is calm, she is independent, she is level-headed. But it is clear that she has worked tirelessly to reach her highest level every single time. Natalie is always prepared, picks up on the most minute detail, and never seems to get overwhelmed. She is one of the most thoughtful, hardworking, helpful, kind, knowledgeable, and modest students. You name a superlative, and it probably applies to her well. So congratulations, Natalie. Class of 2021, families, please welcome to the podium your valedictorian, Natalie Zhu.
Hello, faculty, friends, family, alum, and of course, class of 2021. Thank you all for zooming in and being virtually present for this year's graduation ceremony. I'm honored to be speaking as this year's valedictorian. Now, I want to begin with a confession. I've always had a fear of change. Unlike my peers a year ago, I hated the idea of graduating. In what world would I want to go from making TikToks and doing my nails to making my own routine and doing my own taxes? Change is unsettling, unpredictable, but most of all, it's unavoidable. Life on our planet has proven this throughout history. If you look in the mirror, you'll see the product of millions of years of changes from your ancestors. I can still recall my first biology lesson on the process of evolution. I learned that natural selection drives evolution, and in order for that to occur, a few conditions must first exist. The population needs variation, environmental pressures, and also competition. Applying this to our senior class, I define evolution as learning who we are, discovering our passions, and maturing emotionally and socially. When it comes to the evolution of our high school population, I'd like to propose an alternative theory. For us, evolution does not arise via competition, but rather collaboration. We've all heard that a high school education is our key to success, but keys are for doors, whereas high school is more like a complex, puzzling vault that presents one new challenge after another. Challenges like cramming 4,000 words of an EE into a single night, not making the cut for IASIS, or calculating the maximum questions we can skip on our math test and still get a 7. And of course, experiencing an unprecedented global pandemic that has drastically impacted almost every aspect of our lives. For many of us, the change from our underclassmen to upperclassmen years presented new challenges that were out of our control. But there is something we can control. Change is inevitable, but evolution comes from the people we choose to form connections with. Personal evolution is a frequent and subtle force generated by each small interaction we have with another person. Remember that one time you complained that you had 3 tests in a week to your friend, only to find out that they had 4? You learned that a situation always isn't as bad as it seems. And when your 7th grade best friend gifted you a handmade birthday card, you learned to show your appreciation for those you love in simple ways. And when you went to that one CC art exhibit, you found that sometimes artists can teach you more about what's going on in the world than a textbook can. You and I are living, walking, speaking collages of the hundreds of people we've encountered and learned from throughout our lives. To those of you who are starting or are in the middle of your high school journey, here's my honest advice. As ironic as this may sound coming from a valedictorian, the biggest mistake you can make is to let academics define your experience. Take it from me. 4 years of studying, unnecessary stress, exhausting all-nighters, and it all came down to one short email on a random Thursday afternoon notifying me of my title. I felt a fleeting moment of relief and joy, then immediately a small but not insignificant sliver of regret. The thought that ran through my head was, every time I'd said yes to memorizing 7 chemistry units in one night or perfecting my A until the last minute before the deadline was also a time that I had said no to a walk around the lake, a movie night, or an evening drive with a friend. I can't tell you if it was worth it, but I can tell you what I wish I had heard earlier. Don't sacrifice what's good for your heart for what looks good on paper. Personal evolution doesn't happen on evenings worrying about college or while doing an extracurricular you don't love, or by memorizing how cell respiration works and then forgetting it a week later. Sorry, Mr. Covington. What lies at the forefront of my memory is seeing my friends perform their forensic speeches, nail their IASIS games, and come to my dance showcases. You learn, grow, and evolve the most, not from what you do for a grade, but from what happens in your relationships. That's where half of your high school education occurs. It's hardly possible for me to cover the colossal impact that COVID-19 has had on us in less than 5 minutes. What made the pandemic more bearable for me was knowing that every emotion and setback was a shared experience with my 133 fellow ISB seniors. A lack of vitamin D, awkward breakout room silences, and mandatory Kahoot games, these were all things that we experienced together. This year, we were united in our hardships. While we cannot be physically present at the same time, this graduation ceremony is still a shared experience that we've collectively felt with both excitement and disappointment. Soon we'll all be buying our final 7-Eleven snack, golf carting around Nichita for the last time, hugging our friends goodbye, and giving away our navy blue polos. Then decorating our new dorms, reforming our entire social circle, and adjusting to our new sleep schedules. Our lives as high schoolers are coming to an end, but that doesn't mean our evolution has. This end is just a beginning. This break is just a bridge. Everyone listening right now, including moms, dads, grandparents, teachers, you are all still in an intermediate stage. Evolution is in constant motion, and that's reassuring because it means we're all destined for more growth. As you take your first step into the adult world, remember that change is inevitable. No matter what, the future will bombard you with new situations and complications. So search around you, look to the people you've met and the people you have yet to meet. Do this, and I have hope that all of us will transform change into evolution. Thank you, and congratulations once again to the class of 2021.
Thank you so much, Natalie, for such a wonderful and powerful speech. We are all so incredibly proud of what you have achieved during your high school career, and we are so excited to see what the future has in store for you. I would now like to introduce our high school band, which includes Jisoo Kang, Minji Kim, Ken Chonlakop, Pan Panwa Thanawit, Minnie Choti Chaicharin, Bouquet Asawakan, Akhil Gandhi, Isaac Savino, who will be performing Tchaikovskiana by Yasuhide Ito.
Thank you again to the band octet conducted by Mr. Kentaro Udagawa for their fine performance today. It is now with great pleasure and excitement that I welcome our faculty speaker. Whether it's in his English classes or in his media studies classes, joy and happiness follow him wherever he goes. His smile will brighten up your morning, his laughter will brighten up your day, and his presence will brighten up your whole school year. It seems fitting that after 2 years of global uncertainty and bleakness that he be giving our teacher speech. We all know him, we all love him. It is my absolute honor to introduce Mr. Connor Duffy.
Hello, ISB's class of 2021. Congratulations, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you here on the occasion of your graduation from this fine institution. You have much to celebrate today as you prepare to close one chapter of your life and open another. High school graduation is a very special time, and it is the significance of occasions like these that I want to focus on today. Why, at various points in our lives, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, do we deem it important to gather together, make speeches, and watch people walk down an aisle wearing special clothes and funny headgear? And it occurred to me that occasions like these are sort of like a rest stop on a mountain climb, a chance to catch our breath, look back, and marvel at how we got here, and prepare ourselves for the steps ahead. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Duffy, you're an English teacher. Why such a cliche image of a mountain climb? And I have to agree. I did think of some other more complex metaphors, but in the end, I went with this one, because I thought the math department might watch this, and I wanted them to keep up. So, as you're sitting on your mountain ledge looking out over the immensity of existence, let me angle your gaze down a little bit so we can celebrate both your achievements and the people that have helped you along the way. Take a moment today to think of all your teachers, going right back to pre-K and kindergarten, through elementary and middle school, and right up to the exam preparation you did last month for exams that didn't happen. The classes you loved because of the enthusiasm and joy you felt in being there. The teachers who believed in you, and in doing so, provided a platform for you to jump beyond yourself. They were all on that path with you, often giving you a hand, a nudge, or even a push to get you up the next step. Think of all the friends you've had who have been there as support during the good times and the bad. The friends who laughed and sometimes cried with you. The friends who supported and encouraged you. The friends who told you the truth, even when it wasn't convenient. Or the friends who just added to your general happiness by being the goofy, awesome people they are. Take time to think of the achievements you've accomplished, the sports teams that became family, the drama, dance, and music performances, the speeches you've given, the CAS hours you've put in helping others, and the IASIS events and the GCW trips. The coaches and mentors who motivated and inspired you. The anxieties faced and the challenges met. These little trials along the climb have, in many ways, forged the very essence of who you are today. And also, think of your parents, who haven't so much as been there to help you along the climb, has taken it with you. This is an especially confusing time to them, proud at all you've become and all you've achieved, anxious at how you'll handle the challenges on the horizon, and despondent at the prospect of an emptier and quieter home when you move on. This is a very significant day for them as well. They're a little stunned at how quickly it has went from first steps and first days of school to seeing you walk across this stage today. So take the time in the next 2 days to say something like this. Thank you, Mom and Dad. I am so appreciative of every opportunity you have given me. Rest assured that I will continue to make you proud because of the foundation and support you have already provided. It'll mean the world to them. So, back to the mountain ledge. While sitting there, you should also look around at the current state of affairs. It would be remiss of me here in May of 2021 to not reflect on the COVID situation that has profoundly affected all of us for the past 16 months. You are now the second class in ISB history to be graduated virtually, and in truth, we hope the last. Hopefully things get better in the coming months, and your university years will fulfill all the friendship, challenge, and discovery they are meant to promise. My main takeaway from these past 2 years is how vulnerable, precious, and interconnected we are as a human species. How, in the wake of the pandemic, we must realize that the choices we make affect others. We must remember that our duties as members of a community often supersede our rights as individuals. And we must recognize the powerful role that compassion and empathy can have in uniting us through adversity. At ISB, we've been lucky enough to have a relatively normal school year, but as you well know, much of the world hasn't been so lucky. And we're not out of the woods yet. I hope this pandemic has reminded us that we as a human race are all in this together, and that we're better when we pool our resources and look after each other. Hopefully, in the weeks, months, and years ahead, we evolve because of this experience and continue to shift from thinking, what about me, to what about all of us? And finally, 3 small pieces of advice as you look up to the path ahead. Always strive to leave things a little better than you found them. This applies to almost everything you do and everyone you meet. Stop to lend someone a hand. Pick up an extra piece of garbage in the park. Bring back your new college roommate's favorite coffee. Send a thank you note to someone from your past. It's these small acts of kindness and devotion that people will long remember more than your IB or SAT scores. But here's the thing. Don't act this way for the reward or recognition you hope to receive. Do it because it's who you choose to be. Number 2, dedicate the majority of your time to something you believe in. Find your passion. I know it's been said a million times, but the whole journey of life is so much easier if you find yourself doing things that really mean the most to you. I dare say there is a direct correlation between the classes you've most enjoyed at ISB and the passion and joy the teacher exuded when exploring a particular subject with you. The truth is, passion is a sort of energy, a power that comes from focusing your potential on what most excites you. Find it, explore it, and nurture it, and the journey will be exponentially more enjoyable. Number 3, learn to rely on your friends and family. Don't be too proud to ask for help when you need it, and don't be too busy to provide it when required. This advice might be as much for me as it is for you, as I've learned over the past 10 years that life can be really hard, even unfair at times. As some of you know, one of my favorite pieces of literature is Samuel Beckett's Waiting for Godot, in which we find 2 protagonists, Didi and Gogo, surrounded by immense uncertainty, confusion, and suffering. The main thing that gets it through them all, in the end, is each other. A sincere willingness to help carry a friend's burden when it gets too heavy for them to do so alone. Your family and your true friends will do that for you, and I know you'll do the same for them. All that is needed is the humility to ask. So, once again, class of 2021, congratulations on the occasion and achievement of graduating from International School Bangkok. Celebrate and smile big today, because believe it or not, someday in the future, you will look back on these photos with a real nostalgia for all the joy, pride, and potential currently shining out of you. We are so very proud to now recommend you to the world. Enjoy your mountain perch for the next few weeks and months. You thoroughly deserve it. And when you do decide to pick up the backpack and continue the climb, go and show them what it means to be a Panther. Congratulations, and thank you.
Mr. Duffy, Thank you so much for your insightful and thought-provoking speech to help us reflect on the journey as we climb our mountain. I know that the current pandemic has allowed all of us to reflect on where we are in life with this current shift of pace. I would now like to welcome our headmistress, Arjan Usa, to the podium to honor our 13 and 14-year ISB graduates.
Good evening. I would like to acknowledge and recognize our ISB graduates who are one school students and join ISB since 2007, pre-K, and 2008, kindergarten, and have attended ISB for 13 and 14 years. The following 8 students joined ISB way back in 2008 in kindergarten and have attended ISB for 13 years. Manat Porn R. Bobby Bloomington, Achiriwat Masayawanit, Lee K. Scranton, Chanitsara E. Fasai, Stanford, Jitpuwa Pat, Earth, Mokamakun, Tan Monseri Nuson, Orisa Thanajaro, Nithinan Park Vilaylak. The following 9 students have studied at ISB for 14 years. John W. Jackson, Nipasiri Gagan Mek Sri Prasad, Jesslyn N. Brewers, Emily N. Manjing, Parima Nes Durongkavibun, Akhil Gandhi, Ria Gandhi, Jittisa Jane Krapayun, Prangsini Prang Nawawong Nayutaya. Please join me in thanking them and their forward-thinking parents for their time at ISB. Congratulations.
Well, class of 2021, the past 18 months have certainly been challenging and full of surprises, disappointments, and of course, hardships and great loss for many around the world as the COVID pandemic refuses to loosen its grip on us and normal life. As I mentioned earlier and in previous messages to the community, I've been very impressed and proud of the class of 2021 for their positivity and their can-do attitude in the face of adversity. Their commitment to continuing with their learning through 13 weeks of virtual school in grade 11 and another 5 or so weeks in their senior year was impressive. They were studying hard, preparing for their IB exams right up until the end of Songkran when it became obvious that the IB exams would not be taking place. The cancellation of the IB exams might have been a relief for many of our seniors, but it didn't take away the disappointment of missing yet another milestone in their school career. With the cancellation of exams came the cancellation of prom again, Senior Appreciation Day activities, and of course, a week or so of virtual school in order to finish off the year for them. Despite these setbacks, it was great to have our seniors come back on campus in the past few weeks in order to film their part of the ceremony, which we can bring everyone together in this graduation video for 2021. Now, speaking of coming together, the class of 2021 boasts 25 different nationalities with a combined total of 754 years of ISB education. That's with an average stay of 5.7 years as a student here at ISB. Now, before we start handing out our diplomas to our well-deserving and patient graduands, I'd like to share with you where those 754 years of ISB education have come from. So usually at this stage of the graduation ceremony, I would ask students who joined ISB in a certain year to stand up with their classmates who joined in the same year. Every year when doing this, I note that there is still the same strong sense of community and togetherness amongst our students, whether they joined back in pre-K in 2007, and there were 9 students who did that, or actually joined us in 2020 in grade 12. Also 9 students joined us. So in that sense, this year is no different. So following in the spirit of now a virtual tradition, Let's see when our graduands joined ISB. Pre-K, 9 students joined us. Kindergarten, 8 students. Grade 1, 2 students joined us. Grade 2, 3 joined ISB. Grade 3, we had 3 students who joined us. Grade 4, another 2 students came on board. Grade 5, there were 4 students. Grade 6, yes, we had 8 students that joined us in grade 6. Grade 7, a few more students, 13 in total joined us, whilst in grade 8, 12 students joined the last year of the middle school. And when high school commenced in grade 9, 25 students of today's class joined ISB. In their sophomore year, grade 10, 20 students joined. In grade 11, 15, and as I mentioned earlier, 9 students joined us in grade 12. So together, they are 132 soon-to-be graduates of ISB. Now, this is also the time that the high school principal is likely to share or impart some form of advice or wisdom to the graduating class before handing out diplomas. Now, however, given the circumstances and with the opportunity that technology provides to us today, I decided instead to have our entire high school faculty share some words of wisdom with you. Your journey here today has been very much shaped by the teachers that have taught, coached, and supported you along the way, from pre-K all the way through to grade 12. And I wanted to be sure that our high school faculty also had this opportunity to share their thoughts with you. So let's hear now from our teachers. Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2021, always keep moving. If your teachers can offer only one tip for the future, exercise would be it. The long-term benefits of exercise have been proven by scientists, whereas the rest of our advice has no basis more reliable than our own meandering life experiences. We will dispense this advice now.
Listen to your heart.
Do something you enjoy doing. Work hard at it.
Dig deep into it. Find joy in it.
Success will be sure to follow.
Don't follow the crowd. Follow your hearts and your beliefs.
Stay true to who you are and who you want to be.
Choose your friends with caution. Plan your future with purpose. And frame your life with faith.
Get involved in your classes, your school, and your community.
Your family, your friends, get involved in everything.
Have the courage to become the person you want to be.
Not what others want you to be.
Accept all invitations.
You never know who you're going to meet.
If you don't understand, ask questions. And if you're uncomfortable asking questions,
say you are uncomfortable about asking questions.
And then ask anyway.
Share your thoughts and be present in whatever chapter you are in your life.
You can never be overdressed
or overeducated.
I would like you to ask yourselves, what is your impact on those around you?
Don't waste your time on those that don't have a positive impact on you.
In a world where you can choose to be anything, choose to
be kind.
The power of art can break the shackles that bind and divide human beings.
Music is the literature of the soul.
It commences where words end.
As you move on in life, you go through difficult
or joyful times where words just don't suffice.
Let music speak to you during those times.
Life is not a dress rehearsal.
The curtain is up and you are on.
So, get out there, give it your best shot.
You can't buy time.
Live for the moment and own your choices, the good
and the bad.
Be yourself. You are the only person you have to live your entire life with.
So there is no point trying to be someone else.
Make your body a great place to live.
Try to be a rainbow in someone else's cloud.
Believe in an idea.
Believe in someone.
Believe in yourself.
It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye.
Winners are not those who never fail,
but those who never quit.
Do not strive to live an extraordinary life. Such striving may seem admirable, but it is often the way to foolishness.
Find the wonder and the marvel of an ordinary life.
The joy of tasting tomatoes, apples, and pears. The infinite pleasure in the touch of a hand.
Make the ordinary come alive. The extraordinary will take care of itself.
Don't sweat the small stuff.
And it's almost all small stuff.
We have all lived through difficult times in the past.
This too will pass.
Decide what to be and go be it.
If you can do something to change the circumstances,
why be upset about it?
And if you cannot do anything to change the circumstances,
why be upset about it?
And if opportunity doesn't knock, build a door.
We don't have problems in life, only adventures.
Climb your mountains.
The best things in life are not things.
People have the power to dream,
the power to rule, the power to wrestle the earth from fools.
You have that power.
No act of kindness,
no matter how small, is ever wasted.
If you have the chance to spend a year or two volunteering, take it.
No one has ever gone poor from giving.
Be kind.
Never stop moving.
But trust us on the exercise.
I too wish all 132 members of the class of 2021 all the best in their endeavours and in making a positive impact in and on the world around them. Congratulations, class of 2021. Now is the time you've all been waiting for, the presentation of the diplomas to the class of 2021. Dr. Davis, Arjan Usa, and members of the Board of Trustees, these students have fulfilled the graduation requirements set forth by the International School Bangkok. I ask that you accept them as graduates and present to them their duly earned diplomas.
Thank you, Mr. Alexander. On behalf of the Board of Trustees of the International School Bangkok, I congratulate these students and authorize the awarding of their diplomas. I am now pleased to ask our students to be ready to parade across the stage in order to receive their diplomas from their parents.
Can all seniors now approach the stage, where your names will be read out by Mr. Harold Albert.
Wilson Jae-young An. Parit Todd Amatayakun. Junhee Baek. Rafael Elio Barote. Araka Bawa. Manatporn Bobby Blumenthal. Emerlyn Bold Erdine. Laura Madison Bologna. Jesslyn Naraya Browers. Caitlin Reese Cantrell. Aryan Sandeep Chubb Lane. Brian Patrick Chen. Apichaya Dankwa Giaravanon. Jae-eun Jacqueline Cho. Neela Chumchoy, Mackenzie Clary, Hoff Corral, Jonah Takashi Kani, Graham Keener DeLashmut, Nachawit Champ Dewa Akson, Parima Nes Durong Kawibun, Shamik Datta Majumdar, David Edward Enfinger III, Naho Enya, Blake Eyre, Ria Gandhi, Akil Gandhi, Ragashri Kanasan, Zachary Joaquin Valenzuela Giles, Paul Bradley Greenberg, Gyaldan Gyalshin, Kindan Gyalshin, Elena Ha, Alexander Ostergaard Hansen, Shaila Hargave, Isabel Hart, Milla Harder, Matthew Christopher Helmkamp, Grant Marcus Hevland, Benjamin Robert Holman, Songye Rachel Yoon, Marazo Bahraini Islam, John W. Jackson, Abhijit Jayachandran, Rajiv Jayasakara, Borakorn Well Jitnamplan, Nanticha Nina Jitangtong, Conrad Martin Johnson, Virginia Anna Johnson, Amani Kaya, Boon Kanjana Nat, Dongsu Kang, Raya Kapoor, Bora Kaya, Sara Ali Khan, Panat Kong Patanayotin, Jitisa Jane Kraprayon, Navin Kunkuratan, Momoko Kuramochi, Olivia La Montaña Kretz, Charlotte Eleanor Lancer, Bantida Beam Lut Banapong, Pitsini Mimi Lut Sarot, Borimin Mark Makon Watana, Canyon S. Maniko, Achirawat Masaya Wanit, Kazi Ayman Masood, Max Adrian Mewison, Emily Merritt, Leon Dominic Miliana, Doa Mabin, Jitpua Pat Earth Mokamakun, Tan Monsarinu Son, Emily N. Munson, Kenta Nakano, Daniel Namitinia, Prangsini Nopawong na Ayutthaya, Jasmine S. Nichols Lemon, Naomi Nisamani Niemeyer, Axel Nyborg, Leva Olofsson, Koki Omata, Natapat Order Pranapong Wasin, Hannah Larissa Paps, Kyungmin Alex Park, Mina Park, Yumin Park, Nirvan Perez, Paul Panachet, Patra Pasu, Anna Pitsompu, Barami Pon P. Patanapong, Tachanat Tata Pinpakon Kun, Rachel Elizabeth Pittman, Simanat Bank Prompau, Emma Marie Reed, Jasmine Aurelia Risbjorn, Nurai Risser, Isis Elena Maria Sompermans, Leah K. Scranton, Wasin Chana Tepapon. Isaac Rodolfo Silvino. Pichakon Pum Siripakon. Samuel I. Skaggs. Nipasari Meg Sipasud. Joseph Santa Romana. Janisara Fasai Stanford. Lalana Fe Sukpanangsi. Trisha Femi Sutiwong. Freya Kat Ton Wacharapon. Nontapon Ploy Tanom Warasin. Sasin Emi Tamakraison. Jai Tamprakun. Orisa Tana Jaro. Risa Uyama. Nitinan Park Wilailak. Nicole Villar's Andino. Anyop Mai Vu. Angelina Walker. Jingmin Wang. Fonseca Virgi Wawarundu. Sasha Wertheim. Nora Wiktorowicz. Ariel Jantra Weil. Sahachat France Wongananchai. Front Apichia Wong Non Tawitia. Isaac Matthew Workman. Justin Zhongyang Wu. Alan Henderson Yang. Jacob Wyatt Young. Addis Tabina Yusuf. Natalie Zhu.
Dr. Davis, Arjan Usa, Chair of the Board of Trustees, with pride and respect, I present to you the graduates of the class of 2021. Graduates, will you please signify your newly graduated status by moving your tassels from the right to the left?